Oh, God, not the coffin. Some decorum. Damn, Luke. Really understanding why Percy hates you in the books. Hey guys, it's your girl Laisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Percy Jackson and the Olympians. We're on season 2, episode 7, which is called How We'll Go Down with This Ship. If you know that song, you know that's a throwback and a half. But anyway, yes, last episode we had Percy and Annabeth show up on Polyphemus's island. They were going to do the rescue attempt. They discovered when they were there, Clarice was also there, so that kind of threw a monkey wrench in Annabeth's very perfect plan. But also, they were not aware of the fact that Polyphemus was aware that they were on their way, so a lot of things were already foiled before they even set foot on ground. Things went sideways, and Annabeth ended up getting hurt. And Luke showed up to grab the fleece, but found out it was a dupe too late. And then because of Annabeth being hurt, Percy had to give up the fleece to ensure that Annabeth survived. Very much fulfilling the mirror's prophecy from CC Spa that he is that person who will literally let the world burn to save the people he loves. And so, yeah, basically now Luke is left. He has Annabeth and the fleece, and he's on his way back to wherever he's going. And of course, the quest is still in peril. So thankfully, Tyson showed up clutch. Team Tyson. He showed up, got rid of Polyphemus, rescued his brother and his friends, and now they have the help of some hippocampi to follow Luke and hopefully get back both Annabeth and the fleece. So that's where we're at, ready to jump into the episode. Just before I do though, a reminder to please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you can be in the know when I drop episodes. And also you can watch this uncut on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
Now, your grace, daughter of Zeus.
Hey, Chiron, it's been a minute.
She defeated her assailants at the cost of her own life. Has honored her bravery by giving her a new form.
A tree.
Where's her body?
It's out there.
Where's Thalia?
She's her essence is here. Okay, someone's dreaming, I think. You dreaming, Annabeth, or is this Kronos?
Let's get out of here.
Prophecy!
Thalia.
Where are we? First question. Really? Really, Luke? Restraints? Noted. You don't know she's done healing. Ho? Percy really should have drowned her ass on the first time they came across her, I'm telling you. Thanks, hippocampi.
Get that ship out of my harbor before I call the Coast Guard.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
Long Island, not Cancun.
Oh, okay, we're back in New York.
Hurry up! Luke is gonna be so pissed.
That is not, that's Tyson.
Sorry, Aiden.
Are we though?
We should go somewhere and
Lose the charm speak after daddy boy or lose your teeth. Your choice.
That's why he's smiling so much.
Where's Annabeth?
He ain't playing. He really isn't playing.
Aiden said the police is in Luke's room. Need this to get in there.
You're right, but we need to get Annabeth first.
Her?
Iris didn't accept my offering. Something's wrong.
Yeah,
I think the whole
well.
network is down.
Is it?
Camp has no idea what's coming. Hey, give it back!
Percy, stick a fingers,
That's why we
Jackson.
need to rescue Annabeth first.
Right? Like, you should know not to take your eyes off him.
We're in this position because of you. We had the fleece and we lost it because of you.
And?
What I'm saying is, why don't we work together?
Are we working
Now
together though,
or I
Percy?
take them.
You know, maybe your prophecy was right.
Oh?
Know why you're gonna fail? Because you push everyone away. Percy.
I mean, is he lying? Is he lying?
Starboard side of the Lido deck. This will take you to the service corridor.
Got it.
Percy.
I mean, you kind of deserve that, Percy. You did that to her twice.
When we get off that boat, we're gonna need to get out of here fast. Can you guys figure out a ride back to camp? Yeah, we're on it.
Got it. Yeah, he's like, what an absolute
Winning this war was
Gong
going to be
show.
easier than we thought.
right? He's like, y'all have no strategy. Love it.
Putting this where it belongs.
It's my call when to do that. I found it.
And you're using it to heal the enemy instead of healing Kronos.
She's not the enemy.
Yeah, don't play about Annabeth. One thing about Annabeth's warriors is they don't play about her, but you gonna find out soon enough, Allison. Poor Golden Fleece being used for evil. I know that face, Luke. You know you screwing up right now. And you didn't even ask if Annabeth is actually okay enough to be without the fleece yet. A Pegasus? That would be the way to get home. But for like 2 of you at max. Oh, my girl. How are you going to get that fleece back in a room full of demigods?
This is Zeus we're talking about.
Yeah, can we talk about him a little less?
Why? Don't want to get struck by lightning? I feel like you're about to get boinked on the head, ma'am.
Hey, what the?
Ooh!
Let me out!
Shh.
Look, buddy, I understand, but I'm in a bit of a hurry. Okay, blackjack, not buddy. My bad.
Oh, you understand Pegasus language? Makes sense. Why not? It is to me. At least he didn't punch you. I thought he was going to punch you and knock you out, personally.
Aiden's gonna be so pissed. Let's go quick. Here we go.
Get comfy, Clarice, because you could do this on your own, right? Your plans always work? Okay.
Wise girl.
It's
Your head's really itchy. Is it itchy for you?
because it's made for my head.
No, we can't leave without the fleece.
We won't. Clarice is after it.
Clarice, you working together?
I mean, we kind of have to.
You're my priority, and the fleece was hers.
Her.
She's right. The fleece is all that matters.
Not to him.
Annabeth?
Oh, shit. How do we pretend we're still tied up? To wait till now to check on her after she's had the fleece gone for how long?
How do you feel?
Like I was betrayed?
The fleece is working its magic, healing Kronos right now,
Great.
speeding his return from Tartarus.
Another news I don't care about.
He defied the will of the gods by handing it over.
Yeah,
He wasn't thinking about the gods.
exactly.
He was thinking about saving a friend.
You wouldn't be able to relate.
You have to get the fleece
Annabeth,
off
watch
the
your hands.
sarcophagus now.
I can't do that.
He's like, hello, citizens.
Easy. Just had to connect a couple of wires.
Great.
Of
now
course.
Let's get out of here before anyone
What
else...
other kind of crime are you good at, Tyson?
Don't know how.
Yeah, I
But I
guess.
bet
you
Percy.
No. Bad idea. Bad.
Hey, he's gotten better. And he got you to the beach, didn't he?
Maybe we should call in someone stronger,
Such as?
more wise,
Mm-hmm.
and someone who can help.
Per. Who are we talking about?
Tyson? What's wrong? Are you
Mama!
Could you get us a ride
a ride?
to camp?
But didn't you say camp was good?
What Tyson meant to say is that...
Grover, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
I
let's
thought you were
let's
somewhere on
stop
the other side of
talking
the world.
about this nonsense.
We were on a field trip, but a bunch of us lost track of time and missed the bus back. So we were just wondering...
Really? They just
Grover?
left you?
I've been mother to a demigod for 13 years
Exactly.
and to a cyclops for 1. Just tell me what's really going on.
This one's like, what kind of freaky-ish? Oh, it's so funny you're trying to lie to a mom of a teenager. Yeah, no.
What?
I was talking to you now? Kronos ain't dumb.
What if I told you something that would change your mind? I had a vision.
She did.
I think the fleece can bring Dahlia back to us.
Sure can. And you know Annabeth wouldn't lie about that.
It's not possible. Thalia's gone.
Sure.
Is she?
Right?
I always
You
knew.
wished it was true.
Or she knew.
So did you, Luke.
Watch your hands, Annabeth!
Fleece could bring Thalia back. Kronos would have told me before I poisoned the tree.
You sure?
Ask him to tell you the truth.
Exactly. And see if he does.
Luke!
He's fine. Don't blow your cover. He's fine. She wasn't even done healing either. That Sims hoe needs to be spanked from one end of the earth to the other.
Luke said,
My orders come from Kronos, directly. If Luke gives me any trouble, I might need backup.
Homie's like, well, I guess. Well, you got a choice, girl, because right now the fleece is basically unguarded.
Hello, little.
Shush! Not here to talk to you.
I knew that you would return to me.
Turn.
When did I come the first time?
The great prophecy, right?
I'm
You
important.
think I'll help you destroy Olympus?
I only do that for Annabeth.
I will tell you the great prophecy. If you leave me, the fleece
Ooh, knowledge.
shall reach 16 against all odds, and see the world in
Well, technically, Walker's 17, but...
the hero's soul cursed.
Okay, I decided.
Exactly, shut up. God, so slow.
She lied.
She does
Sorry
that.
about this, Annabeth.
But she wasn't lying about the fleece, though. Hi. I hate y'all. See, Clarice, it's not that hard to save friends. She's like, I like those odds.
My kind of odds.
Exactly. Time for me to get my Aries on. Battles upon battles. Hey, one-handed Percy. Poor Annabeth. She's not even at 100%. But thankfully, she's smart. She's more of a fight smart versus hard kind of girl. Okay, footwork. Annabeth! Her! I did not just survive getting kicked by a Cyclops and taken out by those petty ass gimmick. Oh God, not the coffin, some decorum. Did you forget the hat? Did you forget Annabeth's hat? I was gonna say take the stairs, but I forgot we're in a cruise ship. Look forward! Woo! Okay, you got the heel. You got the fleece. Damn, Luke. Really understanding why Percy hates you in the books. Right there. Grab her. There you go. Quick. It's okay. It's not really you. Like, this is a necessity in this point. Lisa's like, I haven't worked this hard in like 100 years. Had 2 people to heal already. No, 3. In less than 24 hours. Her! Yes, Clarice. She's like, who next?
I needed that.
Yeah, I need to get that out.
I thought you were going for the fleece. Took a detour when I heard what these idiots were planning.
Thank you.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Girls get it done.
Percy went for the fleece. You think Seatorp's gonna be able to get it on his own? Doesn't mean he has the fleece.
She's like, give that boy his due, okay? He a little bumbly, but he gets it done. Annabeth said, don't talk about my friend like that. Don't do that. Pegasus is like, you have me locked up like a damn animal. Bitches, swim. Swim, he said. Like, now that the riffraff is gone.
Percy, you're bleeding.
I was.
It's Blackjack. He's a friend.
Yes, he talks to horses.
It's your quest. You should be the one to complete it.
It was never about the quest for
Let
him.
me win?
Let you. It
This
wasn't
isn't
my
about
quest.
winning or losing.
Right? Like, bigger
This
things.
is about getting the fleece to the tree as soon as possible to save camp.
Annabeth's like, yeah, that's my man.
What about my prophecy?
Well, you're getting help from friends.
You trusted me with your prophecy, and I used it against you.
A little bit, but you were right, though.
It means you'd fail without friends
To help you, which is exactly what he's doing right now.
Fly home alone.
So here you go. Here's the fleece. Run along. Yeah, Annabeth's like, this is why I hang with him. You know, he's bumbly, but he's got bars. He speaks sense quite often, actually. You're welcome.
Thanks, Percy.
We are now chaotic neutral. Not friends, not enemies, just chaotic neutral.
Over here.
Your mom came to the rescue. I am hiding a stab wound. Very smart. Okay. Prius to the rescue.
Just get in.
Hi, Mommy.
Mom?
Talk about it later.
How did you...
Get in the car. Yes.
I may get to see Thalia again.
Same. This is
Right? It's
incredible.
like, that was my first ward.
Percy, can you believe it?
He can.
How long will it take to bring Thalia back?
How do we know? It's never been done before, girl.
No. The tree isn't an ordinary
Right? That was a
tree.
God-created tree.
When we get to camp,
Sally's like, what's wrong with my boy?
will he be there?
Oh, yeah. Bringing back Thalia means this is going to happen. You know, maybe the lightning's like her way of saying hello.
Why didn't you tell me that the fleece could bring Thalia back?
Why didn't he indeed, Lou? He said, shut up, minion. You haven't figured out yet that I'm using you? Okay.
I'm loyal.
These hoes ain't loyal.
Then prove it.
How?
Burn camp to the ground
Luke.
and kill the sun.
I thought he was
Poseidon.
instrumental. Wasn't he instrumental? You got mad because he didn't want to listen to you pontificate for 40 minutes? Oh, Luke, honey, baby, this is not the way. All right. All right, guys. Well, that was episode 7. And yeah, that was a lot. We actually packed quite a bit of action into that one. And it felt shorter. Yeah, it's 35 minutes. So y'all, if there's one wish I have for this show going to season 3, God, please let these episodes be longer. We We definitely could have tacked another 15 minutes onto this one. But okay, where do we start? Let's talk about, I feel like the bigger parts of this episode were definitely Luke and a little bit of Clarice as well. But yeah, okay, let's talk about Percy, Percy, Annabeth, Tyson, Grover. They were kind of like a little bit smaller parts in this episode. But yeah, we see that there's some inner turmoil in the whole Kronos camp because Sims and a lot of the other demigods have realized that Luke is absolutely giving preferential treatment to Annabeth. Sims has got a very black and white viewpoint, as we can see. She thinks like either you're fully with us or you're not. But we all know that Luke has a personal connection to Annabeth, and for him, he's not going to hurt her unless there's literally no choice. And even then, I don't think he would do it. But digressing, we see that Percy does make his way to Annabeth, and actually, first and foremost, let's talk about Percy, try Jesus, not me, Jackson, who once they get there, of course, understandably, Clarice is right. I'm going for the fleece. Like, that's the mission. We got to get that away. Like, we've already lost time with the fleece and Kronos, but unsurprisingly, no. Percy said, I'm sorry. Apparently, you did not get the memo on the island, okay? You weren't there for the whole retreat where I basically found out that I would burn Olympus to the ground myself with my bare hands to save Annabeth, if that's what it comes down to. Yeah, we're not playing that. I will get my girl, okay? My girl, just like with Tyson, with Grover, any of my people, they come first, okay? Everything else is secondary to me. So yeah, no, we're getting Annabeth. We're getting her out of danger, making sure she's safe, and we can get the fleece afterwards, because Anyways, understandably, Clarice is like, no, there's no reason for us to do that. And again, she's still very much in that mindset of, I have to do it myself. I don't need anybody, right? That's like when she didn't take anyone on the quest, right? She very much thinks she got to do it. So we see that Percy kind of pulls a bit of a low blow, and he says, your prophecy, right? We know it's bothering her since she heard it, right? And again, I think it's more, not so much the prophecy itself, but more the foreboding of her being alone, right? Because despite the fact that Clarice pushes people away and Clarice ices people out, she doesn't want to be alone. She is lonely. And, there's probably a whole plethora of reasons we've not gotten into, but typically when people push people away, it is because it's a defense mechanism. They've usually been hurt before, traumatized, abandoned, and the subconscious walls come up because they're protecting themselves from being hurt again, right? But as I've said before, when you put up walls to keep out hurt and trauma, you also keep out love, connection, and warmth, right? The things that she really, really wants. And so anyways, Percy rightfully tells her that, the reason your prophecy is like this is because you keep pushing people away. Now, he used it in a way that was, let's face it, to hurt her feelings a little bit, but also to kind of knock her off her guard. That was not necessary. However, he wasn't completely wrong, unfortunately. Grover kind of coming in to stop him wasn't because Percy was like lying. It was more because his delivery was not very, very warm. It wasn't very kind. So anyways, we see that, of course, Clarice is like, screw that. Like, you already did a 1-2 on me before. I'm going to take this and go after the fleece. You do whatever you want to do. So Percy had the hat anyways. So he did go after Annabeth. And we see that, of course, Annabeth was still pretending to sleep while she was trying to figure out how to get untied. And I love that Percy was like, smart girl. He's like he expected anything less of Annabeth. But yeah, he was like, good for you to keep pretending that you're asleep, but let's get out of here. But unfortunately, they don't have a lot of time. Like, well, actually, first of all, Percy's like, let's go. And she's like, well, why aren't we going for the fleece? Like, you should be doing that. So much like Clarice said on the island, Annabeth absolutely would have chosen getting the fleece over saving her. But, Percy's kind of like, well, no, like we're kind of doing divide and conquer, not on purpose, but we are doing divide and conquer. She's going after fleece. I'm getting you. We'll meet up somehow, right? But we see that Annabeth's like, no, like you should leave me and go for the fleece, because she's like, I now know, thanks to what it's done to heal me, that it has a lot of possibilities. And, it's more about not only just saving camp, but we might get my friend back. So that's a huge deal. And of course, that refers to the dream she had before she came to, which was Thalia returning. Like, we see the tree starting to crack and the fleece around it, and how, of course, she's still in the past when this happens, but still, the fleece is basically letting her know that I could, girl, put me on that tree. I can bring her all the way back. Can I fix your barrier? I can bring your friend back. What you want? Just tell me, this is Burger King. Give me your order. But anyway, so yeah, she lets Percy know that that's the time she's on. Like, she's willing to stay here or do whatever, because the truth is, she didn't say it to Percy, but Annabeth doesn't fear her life with Luke, and she doesn't need to, right? Rightfully, at this point in time. She knows that Luke would never hurt her, at least not mortally, And, Percy, of course, does not trust Luke as far as he can throw him, so he's a little confused about it, but they don't really finally have a time to discuss it before Luke does show up, because as I mentioned in the episode, Allison took the fleece off without his permission because she's a salty hoe. And I was like, the first thing I would have asked when she brought that fleece up to Kronos is she okay? Like, has Annabeth actually fully recovered? She got hurt pretty bad. But anyways, he did of course care about if she was all right. So he comes down to check on her. And then of course, Percy, he overhears Luke saying that the reason why things are going the way they're going is because of him. Like, it's that impulsivity, it's that loyalty to a fault, it's his fatal flaw, which has been brought up, 2 episodes now that they've shown that this mirror was not lying to him. That, yeah, if he hadn't been the person to care about saving Annabeth above all, then he would have kept the fleece in the cave and there would have been nothing that Luke could have done about it. And I love that, overhearing that, Percy felt some type of way because he was like, damn, like, am I really being a tool like that? Like, am I really causing greater harm because of this? Like, because he heard that prophecy, he heard what Cersei told him, but I think deep down, Percy's been challenging whether or not it's fully true, or is it, it can't be that bad. Like, really, surely not. Like, it can't be, they're exaggerating a little, right? But I think he's starting to understand now that the ripple effects are that serious. Right? Cersei was not joking when she's like, you will let the world be destroyed to save someone you care about. And that may not be the right answer. Maybe you're more of a danger in general than you are a help by doing that, especially considering the fact that Annabeth was like, bro, I would have left me. Respectfully, if the shoe had been on the other foot, I think I would have let you go. So anyway, that caused Percy to leave because he's kind of like, damn, well, I guess I really do have to go get the fleece now, because hearing that I'm basically playing into Kronos' hands has not been what I want. Like, I really don't want Olympus to fall per se, or the world to suffer. I just wanted to save my friends. So, Percy needs those moments, right? Because it's been established he's impulsive, right? He's very much an act first, think later kind of person, which is one of the reasons why he needs the tempering agent of Annabeth and Grover to kind of be like, whoa, like, pull back your horses, Poseidon. Like, I know you want to go rushing in like a waterfall, but sometimes you need to go like a river. You need to slow it down, take a minute and consider stuff, But anyway, so he leaves, and that leaves Annabeth and Luke to talk. And this, should I follow? Let's finish Percy first, and then we'll come back to the conversation between Annabeth and Luke, because there is some pretty good stuff here. But yeah, so Percy goes, he decides to go after the fleece, and of course it's unguarded at the moment because everyone's thinking everything's going according to plan. And when he gets up there, of course, Kronos reaches out to him because he's been doing that since season 1, and he's trying to manipulate, right? He's still trying to push and see if Percy is as malleable as Luke as far as being able to shape and manipulate the way that he wants. But, Kronos is really underestimated, or at least he had, and maybe not anymore, but he really underestimated how deep of a solid foundation that Sally has implanted in Percy, not only just in his own moral foundation, but just in being loved and knowing he is loved and is special to the point where he doesn't feel the need to seek out that approval or that pat on the head that Luke does, right? Then again, these are not comparable. Luke had a very tragic backstory. They didn't touch on it too much in the show, but in the books, that Luke's been through a lot. There's a reason why Kronos is just got him just death grip on his trauma, and Luke not really being able to let that go. But Percy's biggest issue honestly is just I really wish my dad was around. It would be great if my dad had been around in my whole life. It kind of sucks that my dad wasn't here, right? It's more of a disappointment, it's more of a longing, but it's not like a deep wound for him the way it is with Luke, right? He feels a sense of abandonment from Poseidon, but because he had Sally, who was very much the mother and father and the emotional support and all the love that he really needed, it's not not as deeply rooted for him as it is for Luke, right? So all that to say that Percy, his morals, his values, the things he cares about, the people he loves are far deeper and more important to him than anything Kronos could offer, particularly if it's going to endanger those things. So we see that when he tries to reach out to Percy again, Percy's like, yeah, no, I'm not interested in whatever you're into. Like, I get what you need me for, and I'm not about to help you, at least not if I can help it. So I'm gonna take this fleece and I'm gonna bounce, And of course, Kronos tries the whole, the prophecy though, you probably want to know, don't you? Like, you need to know. And of course, he's going off of the last time he saw Percy, right? When they were on the ship the first time, he knew that Percy was very much wondering about the prophecy. He was curious about it. And, he had much more of a hunger for that knowledge at that point. But as we know as an audience, a lot has happened since then. So Percy's good. He's like, it's fine. Like, I got the gist. I got the gist of the prophecy. I kind of know what it's all about. And quite frankly, I really don't care. It's like, it's not that deep for me. Like, for me, the only part I cared about is the fact that Annabeth thinks I'm possibly like the devil incarnate. I'm more worried about how Annabeth perceives me than any of this prophecy-ish. So you can keep it, basically. And I really love that when Kronos was trying to get into his long pontificating, speech of self-importance, my man said, yeah, I don't care. Give me this. Not interested. No, you ain't just gonna take this. And Get on out of here. Don't give a damn. So yeah, I think Kronos has recognized through that, yeah, as I said, Percy is not like, he's not Luke. He's not Sims. He's not like a lot of these other demigod kids who unfortunately did not have a strong moral foundation put into them by their families, by their parents, whatever parent they did have. A lot of them didn't have parents. We know that a lot of these kids don't have a parent that was around. But point being, you know, he's not the one, right? Kronos cannot manipulate him. So now he's like, okay, eliminate him, because if they get the fleece, he's got Thalia, right? It's just that a kid of the big three, that's one of the big threes, one of the big three's kids is what's necessary for the prophecy. It doesn't necessarily have to be Percy. Kronos has just been hedging his bets. He just wants as many of those kids that he can get as far as the big three, potentially working towards this goal. As long as he's got that, he doesn't care which one it is, right? So anyway, now it's kind of Percy's moment. We saw that before that when he was getting, you know, the access card. He came across Blackjack, who he can speak to or understand, and he set him free because apparently he did not want to be there. Luke, unsurprisingly, took something that didn't belong to him. So yeah, he let him loose, and that turned out to be very fundamental and instrumental in the later part of the plot. But that was effectively Percy, right? You know, he hearing that from Luke, hearing from Kronos, you know, I think that he's understanding how important he is. I don't think that Percy's ever really taken the time to think about his importance in all of this, right? I don't think he's not a narcissist, right? He's not someone who focuses overly on himself at all. And he doesn't think he's significant in that way, right? Even the fact that he's one of the son of the big three, he doesn't register to him, right? He's very much, as he said to Annabeth, I'm a human kid having a demigod experience. Like, this is all still so surreal to him. So he's never really thought about the fact that his actions have this much impact. And who does at 13, right? Most of us do not think about that at all at 13. We're barely getting from day to day, let alone thinking about ripple effects down the line, right? So anyway, you know, it gave him a lot to think about. And we see all that later on, that when Sally shows up and picks them all up, he's deep in thought in the car. And I mean, they didn't show us what he was thinking outside of, I mean, he remembers the prophecy about Thalia, of course, but I do think he's also just thinking about a little bit more about the weight of what he's carrying right now, because that's not something he's really ever considered enough. You know, Annabeth's been trying to get him to think that way for a while, but I think it's really started to come home to him in this quest exactly how deep that is, you know? And so anyway, that was kind of Percy overall. And then as far as Annabeth, like I said, for her, not too much this episode, you know, she got to chill. I wonder if Leah fell asleep during this shoot as well, since she got to lay down and pretend she was sleeping. For those who watch the interviews, you know that's a little joke with about Leah. But anyway, yeah, she wakes up, realizes that she's back with Luke, that he's tied her up. But again, her big thing is that the prophecy that she had, that Thalia was coming back. And so when she does get a chance to talk to Luke, and this is of course, this is after Percy leaves, they really have like a deeper heart to heart. And she basically says, like, you know, like she keeps coming back to, like, do you know what you're doing? Do you know why you're doing this? Like, I just don't believe that you believe completely what Kronos is telling you. I just don't believe that you're 100% on board with this plan, right? And of course, Luke gives him, you know, all the arguments, the logic, you know, clearly it's the logic he's been spinning in his head to justify the fact that he knows he's screwing up and he knows he's making bad decisions. But of course, Annabeth's like, this is nonsense. Like, this is not you. I don't believe this at all. This is Kronos. You know, you're what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to do. I still don't agree that the price is worth, you know, that the ends justified the means. I don't believe that. I don't think you believe it either. And then anyway, basically, she then comes back to, like, what if I told you that there's a better reason to use this fleece, right? Like, you can take the fleece right now, get it off Kronos. We can get it back to camp, save camp. And of course, Luke's like, it's too far. Like, it's too much is done. I can't do it now. And she's like, yes, you can. Let me give you a more selfish reason to do it. What if I told you that it could bring Thalia back, your family, the person you lost because you went to camp in the first place when you didn't want to go? You know, one of the list of grudges that Kronos is using against him. And, you know, Luke pretends to act like it's not affecting him, but of course it does, right? Like, the fact that he's even discussing it with Annabeth shows that he absolutely is considering it. And, you know, of course he's like, well, it can't be true. Kronos would have told me. But I'm like, really, boy? Kronos? The man that ate his own children and tried to destroy the world? You think that man was going to tell you, the lackey, to give the fleece and he wants to heal himself to a daughter, his granddaughter, he don't give a damn about? The daughter of the kid that put him in this state. You think he gives a damn about that? Like, bless you, Luke. Like, you sit there and talk about Percy being naive, sir, but you're taking the cake when it comes to this Kronos stuff. But anyway, they have that conversation. And, you know, I think to a degree, Annabeth is getting through to him in the sense of there are more important things. There are things that you care about that have nothing to do with Kronos, and that Kronos has no reason to tell him the full truth about anything. And that he has every reason to lie and manipulate because he's done it before. And anyways, in the end, we see that Luke, he likes the idea. I think he very much loves the idea of Thalia coming back in one sense, but I do think he's also worried about what Thalia would think of what he's done, because Annabeth he's never argued fully anyway. Whenever Annabeth says, Thalia would not be on board with this. I really don't think she'd be okay with what you're doing. So I do think there's a little fear for him there as far as like her coming back and him, her potentially being disappointed in him the way that Annabeth is. But they really don't get a chance to even discuss that because before long, Kronos rings the dinner bell like, hey, someone's trying to take the fleece. So anyways, Luke ends up leaving and, Annabeth at that point realizes she's got to go because we find out later on that Kronos tells Allison that, he knows that Annabeth is a weakness for Luke, that she's the one person that could loosen the grip that he has on Luke. So he sends Allison to go and take Annabeth out. And of course, thank God Annabeth's already free. That whole thing happens. And of course, in the midst of all of this, Clarice finds out about it and, that becomes a big thing. But we'll get to Clarice in a minute. But we see that anyways, in the end, Annabeth, can we give it, claps and snaps, a little bit of battle sequence there, showing she is in fact the daughter of a goddess of war. Thank you very much. But anyway, she does manage to get out. And of course, her priority is to get to Percy, make sure that he's gotten the fleece and that he's okay. Love that she had faith in him, by the way, because we saw that Clarice was doubting that Percy was able to handle such a task, especially because we saw that, last season, for example, Annabeth's like, you can't fight Luke, girl. She was like, respectfully, Percy, like, no, you can't handle Luke. And if we're being real, he did lose as far as like straight up combat against Luke, but he did manage to get out. So kudos to him. And then we see in the end, they kind of get to the end where, Percy hands over the fleece and Annabeth is just smiling like a proud mom, with Percy basically saying all the right things. But yeah, for Annabeth, I think the big thing is the prophecy for her this episode and also recognizing that there is still the Luke that she knows in there. So again, I don't think she's willing to walk away, or that whole conversation, I think, is what has renewed Annabeth's belief system that Luke can still be saved, right? Because it's been like Percy's very much like, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. But, Annabeth can't let go that easily. And the fact that she was able to get through to Luke to some degree in this conversation, I think is, going to be instrumental in her continuing to try to save Luke or try to get through to him. Because, like I said, I do think she has the possibility or the ability to do that with enough time and the right arguments. So yeah, that was Annabeth. And then we had the other two big parts of the episode. And that was, on Clarice's side, we had Clarice, again, she's so behind on this mission. She's so desperate for it to work out. So much of it has not gone the way she'd hoped. She did not like the fact that Percy wanted to save Annabeth again. So she decides to go off on her own, but she gets trapped very quickly with a bunch of the demigods that are in the room she's in. And she can't leave because, she doesn't want to alert them that she's there and therefore after the fleece. So she ends up having to listen to them fool around for a while. But thankfully, it didn't turn out to be all for naught because she overhears, Allison's plot to go after Annabeth. So here now she's put in the same situation as Percy's been in multiple times in the sense of, do I go for the fleece since it's going to be unguarded, or do I go and save my friend? Who at that point she had no idea if Annabeth had been released or what the case was, because she has no faith in Percy, right? So in the end, that's what she does. She decides to go and save Annabeth. She makes the human choice, as it were, versus the strategic choice, and she goes after Annabeth. And I love that in the whole scheme of things, she's like, she did have some frustration to take out anyway, so beating all the asses made her feel good. But the point is, she did choose a friend, right? She chose, made a human decision, chose an emotional decision over a logical one. And thank goodness she did, because Annabeth would have probably been in trouble because she's not 100% yet, right? So anyway, that was a great fight sequence. Love seeing, Clarissa get to do her thing. Dior killed that. And like I said, we got to see Annabeth do some damage. And then of course, Annabeth's kind of like, you came for me? Like, why didn't you go after the fleece? And she was kind of like, look, I heard the plans. I was going to do that, but I had to do what I had to do. I couldn't just stand back and let that happen if I could stop it. So love that. I think hopefully that will help Clarice be a little bit more empathetic now to the way that Percy thinks. Maybe it won't always be the choice she makes, but I think she understands a little bit better now as far as that type of choice and why he makes the decisions he does. So anyways, that happens. And then we see that Clarice ends up getting to the top deck, and yeah, Percy does have the fleece. She had no faith in him to get it. She really thought he was going to get stopped by Luke, but it turns out he had it, and at great cost. If he hadn't had the fleece with him, he would have bled out in the elevator. But anyway, Percy hands her the fleece, and she's shocked, right? She thinks that Percy's going to go back to camp and be the big reigning hero. If we remember from last season, she was very jealous of the fact that Percy slayed the Minotaur, right? She didn't like the fact that he had all the attention. So in her mind, she thought it was attention seeking too, right? Because that's the way she would be. But anyway, now she sees that Percy, like he said, like, this was not my quest in the first place. This is yours. You should bring it back. You did a lot of work here too. And honestly, like, this is a bigger than us. like, only one of us can go on this Pegasus. It should be you, since it's your quest, and you're the only one allowed back to camp, by the way, because Percy and Annabeth are technically banned at the moment. So he's like, yeah, you need to go. Like, take this, finish your quest, get your just desserts as you deserve. And also, like, there's a bigger picture here, but, you know, outside of our beef. You know, and then also the apology, right? You know, again, Percy's not a proud guy, at least not too proud, I should say. He apologizes to her for, like I said earlier, twisting the prophecy to kind of get under her skin. But like he said, like, really what that prophecy was trying to tell you is that you needed friends, you needed help. You were never going to complete this quest alone. So if I hadn't gotten the fleece and giving it to you now, plus got you the ride, you would have failed. So that's what it all was about. So you got friends here, even if you don't like us very much. So love that. And we see the Clarice really, I think that was a huge, you know, turning point for her, because again, a lot of her behavior, her defense mechanisms are there because she doesn't feel like she can trust people. And she probably has been, you know, backstabbed, and, you know, Camp Half-Blood is not exactly the warmest place. So, you know, I don't think she really recognized that these people are actually genuine and that there can be genuine people. And that really was a moment, I think, where she's, first of all, understands Percy a lot better now. But overall, I think her genuine sense of empathy and her viewpoint on people and connections has been shifted through this quest. I mean, is she going to be the warmest kid in camp next? No, but she definitely has made some progress. Let's put it that way. So that's Clarice. She got her fleece. She's off, thankfully. And, you know, she gets to get her pat on the head from Dad if he does, in fact, decide to give it to her. And that was pretty much Clarice's story. Though, like I said, it was just nice to see that she's gotten that emotional growth. Again, in the book, she does not get this much of an arc. She does not get this much development. So I love that they're showing her actually having her own arc this season and not just kind of being this foil for Percy along the way. And then finally, like I said, with Luke, we kind of talked a lot about him already, but I think the big things with him was we see that he finding out that there's a chance to get Thalia back was a big deal for him, because for Luke, it's all about connection and family. He's very lonely. That's one of the main reasons that Kronos has such a death grip on him. But we see that when he finds out that Percy's gone after the fleece and that, you know, he took it, etc., we see that Luke interprets the conversation that he had with Annabeth as her lying to him, right? That he lied about the Thalia thing because, or just, you know, was doing all that to, you know, distract him from Percy getting the fleece. But that was not the truth. That wasn't true, right? She was telling the truth about the Thalia thing. Was she stalling? Yes, but it was for a real thing. So that betrayal is kind of in his mind, that betrayal is going to definitely be instrumental, you know, for those of us who know what's going on in the books. But yeah, that of course, unfortunately left him a little bit vulnerable, because he goes back to Kronos and he's like, why didn't you tell me about the fleece? And Kronos, you know, suns him very quickly and is like, listen, this is not that type of relationship. You are my pawn. You are my minion. How dare you? And secondly, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I gave you a mission. You didn't do it. You extended mercy. You should have done all these things. Instead, you're sitting there playing with your little friend. I'm done with it. So he's like, you say you're loyal to me, Luke? You need to go. The assault on camp is happening right now. You need to take camp down and you need to kill Percy. That's what you're going to do. No more questions. And we see the look of kind of resolve on Luke's face. But again, I think it's because of that moment with Annabeth. He's feeling some type of way. And again, that fear of betrayal and being abandoned and left, that is really what drives Luke, unfortunately. And now he feels like that's happened again. So yeah, unfortunately, that just allowed Kronos to get right back in there. And, you know, that little bit of leeway that Annabeth was able to kind of put that wedge between them, like, unfortunately, it's gone again. Kronos is right back like he never left. So yeah, looks like, you know, we're inching towards the finale. I can't believe the finale is next week. But yes, it will be the final episode of this season. And yeah, it's going to be the assault on camp. The kids are going to have to fight until they can get that barrier fixed. And it's not going to be instant. We don't know how long it's going to be. We saw that, you know, Annabeth being like, how long is it going to take? And Grover's like, girl, I don't know. We've never had a problem before. So we'll have to see how that all goes down and whether or not anyone's going to make an appearance as far as a parent, a godly parent. Yeah, another solid episode. Like I said, my only complaint is that it was too damn short, but I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.